This is Optimal Finance Daily, episode 577, Embrace Your Debt to Boost Your Organic Motivation, by Sam of FinancialSamurai.com. And I am your narrator, Dan. A happy Tuesday to you. This is where I read to you from some of the best personal finance blogs on the planet. And I'm going to keep this intro nice and short for you today, so let's get right to our post as we optimize your life. Embrace Your Debt to Boost Your Organic Motivation, by Sam of FinancialSamurai.com. My biggest weakness is being unable to generate enough organic motivation to keep on hustling. I used to get up by 5 a.m. every weekday to work for 2 to 3 hours before work. Then I'd get home by 8 p.m. and work another 1 to 2 hours on my side hustles. There was this massive internal drive to go all out and to one day break free. Now that I don't have a day job, I get up around 6 a.m. and then zone out on my phone for 30 minutes before checking the refrigerator several times to see if there's anything good to eat. No wonder my weight continues to creep higher. I'm just not trying hard enough. I admit it. Reaching financial independence has made me less productive by at least 2 hours a day. What a shame to no longer reach maximum potential. Then one day I realized I had been sitting on two $2,100 rent checks from my Pacific Heights tenants for 1 week. They've been great so far in terms of paying promptly. The only reason why I remembered carrying these checks is because I told my tenants to just take the cost of fixing the leaky kitchen faucet off their rent. They reminded me they had already sent their rent checks, and given rent wouldn't be due for another 3.5 weeks, they'd rather just get reimbursed directly. Oh yeah, that's right. The main reason why I forgot to deposit the $4,200 for a week is because I paid off the mortgage in 2015. After 13 years, the bank is no longer helping me stay financially disciplined. Quarter-life crisis. There's so much history with this Pacific Heights rental property because I bought it when I just turned 26 in 2003. At the time, I was also losing my organic motivation after saving up around $200,000 and making $150,000 in a fortuitous internet stock 4 years after college. I knew I was lucky, but I was also tired of working 70-plus hours a week. 9/11 was fresh on my mind, and I was constantly wondering what was the point of working so long to make more money. I was incredibly tempted to just leave San Francisco and move to this beautiful 6.2-acre property my grandparents owned, nestled in the Waianae mountain range in Oahu. Due to their advanced ages, they were no longer actively tending to the dozens of mango trees, pomelo trees, avocado trees, and orange trees they had planted decades ago. What a shame to see their hard work fade. As I contemplate this quarter-life crisis now as a middle-aged person, I realize how dangerous it is to grow up in a household with some wealth. As grade school teachers, my grandparents weren't rich by any means, but they did buy this amazing property for $50,000 in the 1960s. If there wasn't this property, I wouldn't have even considered leaving work in my mid-20s due to a lack of options. Taking on a $464,000 mortgage at 26 supercharged my organic motivation. I changed from wanting to kick back in Hawaii to wanting to get into the office by 6 a.m. and outwork everybody every day. The last thing I wanted was to get laid off with such a large amount of debt. Debt saved me from short-circuiting my career by 8 years. If I moved to Hawaii at 26, I might be an incredible surfer by now, but I would have always wondered how far I could have gone in my career had I stayed. Now I have no regrets because I tried my best to get to managing director and failed. Pre-midlife crisis. When I left corporate America in 2012 to focus on Financial Samurai, I never considered working part-time for anybody else. The goal was to concurrently build passive income streams and business income in order to never have to work again. It wasn't until after being on my own for a year and a half that I longed to assimilate back into day-to-day society. Working by yourself gets lonely. After consulting between November 2013 and December 2014, my enthusiasm for consulting began to fade. There were some personnel changes that helped accelerate my disinterest. Meanwhile, the learning curve had flattened. In order to energize myself to keep on going, I tethered 100% of my consulting income to paying off $91,000 in remaining Pacific Heights mortgage debt. Such tethering allowed me to last for one more 3-month consulting cycle with one company before finally calling it quits. 3 months at this company wasn't enough to pay down $91,000 in debt, so I took on 2 more clients until the goal was achieved by summer 2015. I was temporarily back to working 70 hours a week. Since that time, I've consulted for a couple other companies, but never with the same intensity. If it weren't for debt, I wouldn't have gained 3 years worth of fintech and digital marketing experience. I never would have known what it was like to work with people who founded a seed stage company backed by Y Combinator. I never would have gotten to know various C-level executives that might look for media acquisitions either. Debt provided additional financial insurance through experience, which I can utilize if I ever need to go back to work full-time. Organic motivation naturally declines. For those of you who are in debt, embrace your debt in order to boost your organic motivation. Come up with a plan to pay it down faster. You won't regret your achievement. The only caveat is that if you become debt-free too quickly, you might accelerate your motivational decline. Therefore, the key is to time being debt-free when you no longer have the energy or desire to work. The opposite of organic motivation is inorganic motivation. Inorganic motivation is posting about your fabulous life on your blog or social media so you can gain adoration. But inorganic motivation can also involve seeking new challenges way outside your comfort zone. Unfortunately, inorganic motivation is hard to sustain because it doesn't come naturally, at least to me. It's clear why there is discrimination against older workers for younger workers, especially at more nascent companies. The older you are, the less organic motivation you have. With more money in the bank and less debt, it's natural not to want to kill yourself as badly as younger workers who have everything to prove. Further, older workers may have family they'd rather spend time with. Biologically, older workers may simply have less energy than they once did. If you add up age discrimination in the workplace, declining organic motivation, and a finite lifespan, you should have more than enough reasons to achieve financial independence as soon as possible. You just listened to the post titled "Embrace Your Debt to Boost Your Organic Motivation" by Sam of FinancialSamurai.com. And don't forget, you can get free spreadsheet tools, be in book giveaways every month, and a lot more if you're part of our weekly newsletter at oldpodcast.com. You can join by going to that website, that's oldpodcast.com, or you can text the word financial to the number 44222 if you are in the US. And I'm going to keep this ending nice and short for you today. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you in the Wednesday show tomorrow, where your optimal life awaits.
Hello, Life Optimizer. This is Justin Malik, creator and producer of this podcast, but also Optimal Living Daily, the show where I read to you from even more blogs covering finance, productivity, minimalism, personal development, and more from incredible bloggers like Derek Sivers, Zen Habits, Mark and Angel, The Minimalists, and all the ones you hear on this show too. So if you enjoyed today's episode and like taking amazing blogs on the go, come on over to Optimal Living Daily and subscribe to that one too. And together, we'll start optimizing your life.
You've been listening to Optimal Finance Daily. Be sure to hit the subscribe button to stay up to date on each new episode and head to oldpodcast.com. That's OLDpodcast.com for a free gift as well as more actionable tips and resources to help you maximize your potential. Thanks for joining us, and remember, your optimal life awaits.